Hey guys, so there are often breaking releases that breaks our code base, and while we try to upgrade to the newer version or the breaking version, it does not lead to any smooth experience. So we have built a tool for that that lets you help you migrate from a non-breaking to a breaking version seamlessly. So let's dive into it and see what it has to offer. So let's dive into the code base, and you can see that I have a minimal fork project over here, and in my main.sway file I have some storage keys in here and uh, some empty ABIs and empty contracts. Now that is intentional that I have some storage keys. The reason being that I am currently on an older version of the Sway and the non-breaking version. Now, the next breaking version or the newer version has some modification of breaking changes related to how storage keys are calculated. So it will help us to visualize how the entire tool works. So now let's dive into the terminal and see what it has to offer and how Forc Migrate tool will help us to migrate to the breaking version seamlessly. So now, firstly, very first, I just want to see what are the breaking changes and what actually it brings to us. So for that, I'm gonna run Forc Migrate show, and it will show us the entire breaking changes that the next release is gonna bring to us. So if you look at over here, it has some breaking change features, and in that storage domains, partial equivalence, and few more. You can learn more about each of them by visiting each of these links. And if you look at here, it will also show you some migration steps that you would need to follow in order to do the migration. So, partial equivalence for storage domains, there are some steps mentioned here. Now, okay, now I have got to know that okay, there are some breaking features in the next release. But I actually want to check that whether my project is affected by the breaking changes or not. Maybe there might be the scenario that my project is not at all affected, or there might be the scenario that it is affected. So let's find out how we can actually confirm that our project is affected. For that, I'm gonna run for migrate check, and what it will do, it will scan our entire code base, review the code, and it will give us the report that where our code base is affected and what actually needs to be done. So let's go ahead. Now, if you look at this carefully, it has some information over here that it is asking us to review the storage slot keys and storage declarations and some more over here information. And it is also saying us that there is a change in how the storage keys were calculated. So the previous formula in the non-breaking version for calculating storage keys was this, and the new formula for calculating storage keys in the newer version is this. So it is asking us that okay, like please review your storage keys in your storage definitions because now the formula for calculating the keys has changed. And it has also given us some info that if we are using proxy, then it needs to be backwards compatible. And it has shown an example how we are gonna do that. And if we scroll all the way down, then we have some migration effort that is uh, showing around 18 minutes. So what's that exactly? So now let's say like mine is very small, minimal project, but that might not always be the scenario. So sometimes there are big code base with thousands of lines of code. So I want to know that how much of a technical lift it would be and how much time it is exactly gonna take for me to migrate. So in that scenario, this report helps us to analyze and prepare for the migration. So for now, for my project, it's gonna take me around 18 minutes to migrate from non-breaking to a breaking version. Okay, so now we have got to know that okay, our project is affected by the newer version or the newer breaking release. So now let's say I don't wanna do the upgrade myself. I want my I want this tool to do the upgrade for me. So how I'm gonna do that? So for that, I'm gonna run for migrate run. And what it will do, it will scan my entire code base, it will review it, and it will do the migration for me. So let's hit enter. So if you look at some information over here, so it is asking us to review some explicitly defined slot keys and storage definitions and some more information over here. And it is also again uh, giving us information that the previous formula for calculating storage keys was this and the new formula is this. And some example over here that if it needs to be backwards compatible. Now, if you scroll all the way down, then it is asking us some questions. So, do we want these fields to have backward compatible storage slot keys calculated using the previous formula? And if yes, the migration will insert in keywords to all the above fields and calculate the storage keys by using the previous formula. Now let's understand what that means. So if you are using proxy contract in your project, so then it needs to be backwards compatible. We want our newly deployed contract to be compatible with the previous deployed contracts. So our tool is asking us that, hey, if you want it to be backwards compatible, then you will have to insert in keywords in all the above fields, as you can see in the example over here. And it is also asking us to calculate the storage keys using the old formula and put in here. Now let's say I it would be so much hassle if I have to do all this manually, like calculate the slot keys using the previous formula and define in the storage key slot. But on the contrary, what our tool will do, it will just do it for us and on our behalf. So it is showing us two options. Firstly, if we want it to be backwards compatible. Secondly, we do not. So let's say I want it to be backwards compatible. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead with the option one for now. And if you could see, it has done some changes in the our code. So now let's understand what it is saying over here. So it has done some defining storage and slot keys, storage slot keys if they need to backward compatible, and it is asking us to review the changed code and rerun the fork migrate tool to finish the migration. So basically it is asking us to review to finish the migration. So let's see what it has made the changes. Now, if you could see the difference here, it has added some storage key values and made some modifications. As I was saying that you need to add this in order it to backwards compatible, and similarly for this. Now imagine how cumbersome it would be if we would have to go and manually calculate this storage keys using the old formula and put in here. On the contrary, our tool has done all this for us. Okay, so I have reviewed my code base and I think it looks good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna confirm the migration. So I'm gonna run the migrate command again and will confirm the migration. Here we go. So now you could see that it has again run some compilation and it is saying that project is compatible with the next breaking change version of Suite. So that's how our Forc migrate tool has helped us migrate from the non-breaking version to the breaking version seamlessly, and that too without even writing a single piece of code manually. So that's where Forc migrate tool comes into play, and that's what it has to offer. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.